And we met there, we fell in love, and then we got together and we had a baby.
The first film was Swing Shift. That's where everything happened, and that's where we met. We fell in love, came together, and had a child. She was the kind of woman who could light up an entire room with nothing more than a smile. Goldie Hawn, America's sweetheart and Oscar-winning actress, the woman who made millions laugh. But behind that radiant glow was a truth she rarely revealed. Goldie's heart had always been searching for something more genuine than applause. And now at 79, Goldie is finally sharing the story of the one man she says truly saw what the rest of the world overlooked. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you resonate with Goldie Hawn, or 0 if you have a different view. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel, because behind every Hollywood love icon, there's always a hidden chapter waiting to be uncovered, and we're here to tell it to you. He was the only person who made her feel understood in a way no one else ever had. What stunned Goldie was that he saw the real woman behind the sparkling smile. The world adored her, but he recognized a sensitive soul shaped by past wounds who always longed for a quiet, genuine place to rest her heart. The most surprising part was that this deep sense of understanding came from someone who didn't look at her as the movie star, but as a human being with fears, dreams, and silent spaces within her that fame never revealed. To most of the world, Goldie was the eternal symbol of joy, confident, vibrant, unstoppable. But he was the one person who recognized that her brilliance also held fragile threads beneath it. From the very beginning, Goldie seemed born for the stage. It wasn't pressure or expectation, it was pure instinct. She moved as if storytelling lived in her bones, as if laughter was a language she naturally spoke. Growing up in a Jewish family in Maryland, she and her sister Patty spent their childhood blissfully unaware that they once had a brother, Edward Jr., who passed away in infancy. That quiet family secret left an invisible hollow in their early years, one they would only come to understand much later. Goldie began dancing at just 3 years old, and from that moment it was crystal clear she wasn't like other children. While most kids danced out of simple playfulness, Goldie moved with a remarkable blend of rhythm, emotion, and instinctive confidence. Her movements had precision, texture, and most impressively, a sense of story, something rarely seen in someone so young. She grew up in a home filled with music, warmth, and constant encouragement, where every step she took lit up the room and filled her family with pride. It wasn't that Goldie enjoyed dancing, she lived in it. When she entered formal dance training, she didn't just keep pace with her classmates, she often surpassed them. Teachers remembered her as a tiny performer with enormous expression, someone who could transform a stage into her own world. Even as a child, she carried the composure of a professional, approaching rehearsals not with exhaustion, but with joy, as if each session made her stronger. That foundation became the beginning of a decades-long artistic journey, one in which Goldie brought the same innocence, joy, and passion from her earliest years, eventually transforming them into the magnetic screen presence that Hollywood would fall in love with. By the age of 10, Goldie was performing in the Nutcracker with the ballet's Russes de Monte Carlo, and from that moment, she seemed to melt into the spotlight as if it were her natural habitat. Audiences didn't just see a graceful young performer, they saw an artist radiating rare confidence, someone who could capture hearts with a single spin or a bright, fearless smile. To her, the stage wasn't a place to prove herself. It was a place she belonged, a space where every movement became its own form of storytelling. By the mid-60s, while many teenagers were still figuring out their passions, Goldie was already performing in Romeo and Juliet and even running her own ballet school. An astonishing accomplishment for someone her age. She threw herself into the world of performance completely, leaving college behind to follow the path she knew was meant for her. This choice led her to New York, where she officially entered the realm of professional dance at the New York World's Fair. It wasn't just a career milestone, it was the mark of a young woman brave enough to choose her destiny, defying expectations of what someone her age should do. At the New York World's Fair, Goldie didn't just perform. She absorbed the entire artistic energy swirling around her. The performances exposed her to choreographers, actors, and performers from all over the world. Each of them recognized something unique in her, a relentless drive paired with an effortless charm, making her both a hardworking student and a star in the making. It was during this time that Goldie realized art wasn't just about talent, it was about endurance, self-belief, and the willingness to rise again after every criticism or rejection. These experiences strengthened her spirit and prepared her for greater opportunities ahead. While many of her peers eventually shifted toward more stable careers, Goldie held tightly to her passion, trusting that the world of performance would eventually open the right doors for her. And she was absolutely right. That determination became the foundation of her journey into television, film, and ultimately her rise as one of Hollywood's most beloved icons. It didn't take long before she became a sensation in go-go clubs across New York and New Jersey, and then inevitably, Hollywood called her name. Her major breakthrough came in 1968 with Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. That infectious laughter and unstoppable energy turned her into one of television's most beloved faces. That same year, she landed her first film role in a uniquely charming family production. But it was Cactus Flower in 1969 that truly turned Goldie's world upside down and launched her into an entirely new orbit. That single role earned her both an Oscar and a Golden Globe, shattering the assumption that she was merely the funny performer. Suddenly, Goldie had proven she was a force, an actress capable of delivering humor and emotional depth with equal mastery. The success didn't just make her popular, it earned her respect in an industry notoriously unforgiving toward bright, bubbly women like her. From that moment on, she continued her ascent with "There's a Girl in My Soup," and one hit after another solidified her place among Hollywood's most bankable stars. Butterflies Are Free, The Sugarland Express, Shampoo, Foul Play, Seems Like Old Times, and Private Benjamin. The latter even earned her another Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, a testament to her remarkable versatility. With each film, Goldie didn't just shine, she defined an era, her radiant smile and effortless charisma becoming part of Hollywood's cultural fabric. Goldie moved from film to film with the confidence of someone who truly understood her own power. She dazzled audiences in Overboard, astounded them with the dark comedy of Death Becomes Her, and became a cultural landmark in the 90s with The First Wives Club. Even in The Christmas Chronicles, appearing at a time when many of her peers had stepped away from the spotlight, Goldie delivered a warmth and effortless humor that made viewers feel like they were reconnecting with an old friend from their youth. Yet behind the flawless moments captured on camera, Goldie's real life carried shadows the public rarely saw. The brighter the spotlight, the deeper the darkness behind it. Failed marriages, emotional wounds, and the loneliness that every star knows but few ever admit. Still, she kept shining, not because her life was perfect, but because she learned to turn every crack into a source of light. That resilience is what made her not just a star, but one of Hollywood's most enduring icons. Before fame arrived, Goldie had lived through her share of tender but complicated early romances. She dated actor Mark Goddard and singer Spiro Venduras. But her first truly deep connection was with Gus Triconis, a dancer and actor who had appeared in West Side Story. She met him in the late 60s while they were performing, and she once admitted she wanted to marry him from the very first moment she saw him. They married in Hawaii in May 1969. But as Goldie's career began to soar, everything in their shared life started shifting. Gus struggled to find steady work while Goldie quickly rose as one of Hollywood's brightest new stars, and suddenly their paths split in two very different directions. That distance grew quietly, slowly, and irreversibly. They separated in 1973, and she didn't file for divorce until New Year's Eve of 1975, a moment when she was already engaged to someone else. The divorce was finalized in June 1976, and only weeks later she married again. Goldie's second husband was Bill Hudson, a musician and actor from the Hudson Brothers, and their romance began in the most cinematic way, on a first-class flight from New York to Los Angeles. It happened fast, intensely, almost like a scene pulled straight from one of her films. They married on July 3, 1976 in Goldie's hometown and had 2 children together, Oliver and Kate, both of whom later became successful actors. But the marriage unraveled almost as quickly as it began. In 1980, Bill filed for divorce, later admitting he had doubts even on their wedding day. According to Bill, he felt like the luckiest man alive until Goldie leaned over and whispered a question that froze him. "Are you sure we're doing the right thing?" That moment haunted him for years, refusing to fade. Bill claimed he was fully committed to building a solid family, but he believed Goldie never truly wanted the same. He said she longed for more freedom, resisting the traditional marriage he expected. And after the divorce, nothing settled. Everything only grew messier. Bill said he felt pushed out of his children's lives, and that pain cut deeper than anything he had ever experienced. Gus Triconis also spoke out, saying Goldie changed once fame arrived and that success pulled her away from him. He claimed she began spending time with stars like Barbra Streisand and Jack Nicholson, and that her behavior became wild and unfamiliar to him. Bill held nothing back. He said Goldie crafted a sweet, wholesome public image, but behind the scenes he felt she was manipulative, harsh, and self-centered. What angered him most was the way she portrayed their marriage. He completely rejected her version, insisting it was never an open marriage and that he never agreed to anything like that. What broke Bill the most was the feeling of losing his children. He said that pain followed him for years, long after Goldie's spotlight had dimmed. Goldie Hawn may have seemed like Hollywood's golden girl on screen, but her real life was tangled with heartache and emotional weight that few ever saw. 2 marriages had fallen apart, and both of her ex-husbands carried their bitterness for years. Yet Goldie kept moving forward. She raised her children, rebuilt her foundation, and somehow found the strength to open her heart again. Goldie and Kurt Russell first met in 1966 while working on the one and only genuine original family band. Goldie was 21, Kurt was 16, and despite the age gap, she later said, "I thought he was adorable, but nothing happened. They were young, focused, and neither wanted to date another actor. That brief meeting became just a sweet memory, one neither knew would return 17 years later and change their lives forever." In 1983, Kurt walked into his swing shift audition feeling anxious and unsettled. And the moment Goldie walked in, he blurted out, "Man, you've got a great figure." It should have been awkward, yet she simply smiled and said, "Oh, thank you." That tiny exchange shattered the tension instantly. Their first date played out like a movie, dancing at the Playboy Club, and then heading to the new house Goldie had just bought. She didn't even have the keys yet, so the two of them broke in together like a wild little team. While wandering through the empty rooms, things were heating up until the police showed up and stopped everything. Instead, they ended the night at a hotel, and Kurt said, "That was our first date. It was fun." When filming began on Swing Shift, they finally had real time together, and that was when their spark grew into something deeper. That was the turning point. Their feelings became real, grounded, and serious. Goldie often said Kurt was handsome, but it was his sincerity that truly won her heart. No acting, no pretending, no calculated charm. She said, "I could tell right away he wasn't a womanizer, and that alone made him stand out." But what moved her most was the way he treated her children, Oliver and Kate. She brought her children to set, and each time she saw Kurt with them, she felt something new growing inside her. She said he was amazing with them, so natural, and that was when she realized what they had wasn't just love, it was a family. By 1986, 3 years into their relationship, Goldie and Kurt welcomed their son Wyatt, completing a blended family with Oliver, Kate, and Kurt's son Boston. If Goldie's moment of realizing that love had grown into a true family touched your heart, leave the number 1 in the comments or 0 if you see it differently. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can continue joining us as we uncover Hollywood's most beautiful love stories. They never got married and they never felt they needed to. In 2021, Goldie posted a birthday message for Kurt that said everything without saying too much. She called him wild, smart, loving, childish, maddening, a wonderful father, and incredibly funny, before adding, "I can't imagine my life without you at any age." And Kurt replied, "You are the one I love, and you are mine." Their love didn't just live at home, it spilled onto the screen. One of their most beloved films together, Overboard in 1987, showcased their perfect chemistry. Goldie played a spoiled amnesiac heiress, and Kurt's character convinced her they were married. Fans loved the film because it felt real, and the truth is it was. Years later in 2020, when the film randomly aired on TV, Goldie smiled and said, "We started out great." Their relationship even made its way onto the stage. In 1989, the two stepped out together to present an Oscar. Goldie told the audience, "We fit the theme of this film perfectly because we're partners, we're companions, and we're a couple." Kurt grinned and replied, "Only one thing, we're not married." The entire room erupted in laughter. Goldie teased, "Is that a proposal?" Kurt joked back, "Hey, we'll talk about that tonight." And she winked. "We'll talk about it tonight." Playful, sweet, and completely them. In 1996, they appeared together again at the premiere of The First Wives Club. Goldie starred in the hit film alongside Diane Keaton and Bette Midler, and throughout the night, Kurt stood proudly by her side, celebrating her success as if it were his own. Their children were there too, showing how deeply connected they had become as a family. Goldie and Kurt turned every public event into a genuine family moment, from parents to grandchildren, holding their bond strong through every chapter of life. They laughed together, worked together, and stood beside each other like a true team. They never needed a wedding to validate their commitment. What they built was stronger than any ceremony, a genuine partnership lasting decades. In 2003, Goldie shared something sweet. She said she wasn't in a rush, but she really hoped to become a grandmother someday because she knew it would be wonderful. Not long after, Kate Hudson became the first to give Goldie the joy she wished for. On January 8, 2004, Kate and her then-husband Chris Robinson welcomed their son, Ryder Russell Robinson. Kate was only 24, but she knew exactly why she wanted children young. She said, "I wanted to have kids early enough to understand what my parents felt when they were young. I wanted my parents to see my child graduate from high school." And with that, Goldie and Kurt officially became grandparents. The special moments kept coming. In 2006, Goldie and Kurt walked the red carpet in Italy for the premiere of Poseidon. Goldie stood proudly beside Kurt as fans cheered for their timeless love. Kurt even gave her a kiss on the red carpet, sending the crowd into a frenzy over their effortless warmth together. Then came 2016. Goldie turned 71 and celebrated at the famous Catch LA, walking in with a radiant smile while Kurt carried a large gift for her. But the most meaningful present wasn't at the party at all. It was waiting for her at home. Their daughter Kate shared a photo of the fireplace Kurt built in their new home, along with a caption that read, "My hands placed the stone." He placed a big heart for Mom, and I'd say for him too. Next to it were 4 small hearts representing the children, such a simple detail, yet overflowing with the love that defined their family. Real love is always revealed through actions. In 2017, Goldie shined once again at the premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2. Kurt had a significant role, and she was there cheering him on, saying, "I'm always proud of him." She admitted she hadn't even seen the movie yet. Being by his side was already more than enough. But the most emotional moment didn't come on the red carpet. It arrived weeks later when they stood together on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In May of that year, both Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell received their own stars, creating one of the most heartfelt milestones of their shared journey. Goldie later said the ceremony felt like a love fest, adding, "I didn't expect him to say those things. I didn't expect him to look so handsome." Their legacy extended far beyond film. It was decades of devotion that needed no wedding ring. In his speech, Kurt looked at Goldie with a soft smile and said a line that melted the entire crowd. "I owe my wonderful life to you. Simply put, Goldie, I cherish you. Every star on this boulevard couldn't compare." He ended with, "Through it all, there is no one I'd rather be beside than Goldie Hawn." They kissed beside their twin stars, and the moment felt like one of Hollywood's rare glimpses of something undeniably real. Later that month, Goldie revealed why their relationship remained so strong. She said it all came down to love, gratitude, empathy, and accepting that sometimes true partners are the very people who can drive each other crazy. For her, what mattered was never fame. It was building a life step by step with the right person. In 2018, Goldie and Kurt reunited on screen as Mr. and Mrs. Claus in The Christmas Chronicles. Fans were thrilled to see them together again after Overboard. Goldie's role in the first film was small but charming, and their son Oliver even appeared, turning the moment into a true family celebration. When The Christmas Chronicles 2 premiered in 2020, Goldie fully embraced the role of Mrs. Claus and made it her own. When asked why they didn't collaborate more often, Kurt laughed and said, "A Goldie Hawn movie and a Kurt Russell movie are pretty different. You don't need to make 10 or 15 movies together just because you live with someone, love someone, and enjoy working with them." They were selective about their choices, but whenever they teamed up, the result always felt magical. In October 2018, their family grew again when Kate welcomed her daughter, Ronnie Rose. Goldie and Kurt suddenly had even more grandchildren to spoil, bringing their total to 7. They often shared photos of Ryder, Bingham, Ronnie, Bodie, Wilder, Rio, and Buddy online, and people adored their warm, multi-generational family. In March 2019, they flew to Hawaii to celebrate Kurt's 68th birthday. Goldie posted a sweet video of them walking and laughing together as if they were still in their 20s. After all those years, they still had fun, still chose each other, still stayed connected in that gentle, simple way. By the end of 2020, they began opening up more about their relationship. In an interview with People, Goldie said, "You just have to want to be together. It's not about marriage, it's about the person beside you and wanting to stay together." She added that something as simple as feeling their toes touch at night was a kind of closeness she never took for granted. And by January 2021, their family grew once more when Goldie and Kurt welcomed a new member, a puppy named Roy Hawn Russell. Goldie even posted a photo of herself hugging Kurt, a gentle reminder of the warmth and love that fills their home. Every moment between them reflects the life they built together, full of laughter, teamwork, and genuine connection. And no day captures their story more clearly than Valentine's Day, the day where everything began. On February 14, 2022, Goldie posted a tribute celebrating 39 years with Kurt. Fans once again asked why they never married, especially after 4 decades together. A few months later, Goldie shared her own truth with CNN. Divorce was one reason, but Kurt addressed it directly in a Variety interview in 2023. He said that people always asked when they were getting married, while he and Goldie always wondered why anyone cared. Even their children didn't view marriage as essential. The biggest reason she didn't want to marry? She asked. How many divorces don't hurt the kids? Then she revealed the heart of it. She loves waking up every morning and choosing to stay because she wants to. For her, choosing each other daily matters more than any legal document. In December 2023, they were spotted in Aspen looking cozy and joyful, holding hands wrapped around each other, kissing in the snowy air. But weeks later, Goldie revealed something chilling. Their Los Angeles home had been broken into twice. The first time happened while they were out to dinner. She said, "I walked into my closet and nearly lost my mind." The thieves had smashed open her safe, showing how skilled they were. 4 months later, someone tried to break in again while she was home alone. She heard a loud noise upstairs and only realized the next morning that someone had attempted to enter once more. The ordeal terrified her so much that she and Kurt hired private security, especially for the time she stayed home alone. "I never go without protection now," she said. Eventually, they made a major change, leaving Malibu and moving to Palm Desert for more peace and safety. Meanwhile, Kate Hudson moved back into the family's former home, admitting she has always relied on Goldie because their family is crazy in the best way. But fans still had one lingering question. What made Kurt the one? Goldie finally shared her answer in April 2024 on Conan O'Brien's podcast. She said it wasn't just his charm or his looks, it was that he cared about family with the same devotion she did. She said feeling like she was someone's number one was what bonded them immediately. Over the years, their family grew with Kate, Oliver, Wyatt, and an entire crew of grandchildren. Goldie said that connection is just as important as love. You have to have something good that creates that bond. She laughed, then added, "Sometimes you just have to be kind to each other." She admitted that monogamy can be challenging, especially in Hollywood, but she and Kurt always talked openly, agreeing that finding others attractive is normal. The real test is how you handle those feelings, and that's what keeps love strong. She said their relationship is elastic. It can bend but never break. By 2025, they had been together 41 years, still choosing each other every day. On March 2nd, 2025, they walked the Oscars red carpet looking like a couple that had never lost their spark. Goldie glowed in a golden Dolce & Gabbana gown, and Kurt wore a classic black tuxedo. They held hands, smiled endlessly, and looked every bit like two people still in love. When asked how he felt about their journey, Kurt answered with a simple yet incredibly sincere line, "I loved that we met, and I still love it. We still love being together." They had survived heartbreak, fame, chaos, major life shifts, and the ups and downs of raising a blended family. But nothing ever shook their bond. Maybe that's the real secret. Not marriage, not tradition, but choosing each other day after day. Which moment between Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell touched your heart the most? Was it the loving glance on the red carpet, the simple smiles they shared, or the quiet strength that kept them together for over 4 decades? Leave a comment with the number 1 if you resonate with Goldie Hawn, or 0 if you have a different opinion. If you feel inspired by their enduring love story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to spread this beautiful message to even more people.